Here we will see method overloading in Python. Method overloading means creating multiple methods with the same name but with different return types or parameters. Using method overloading, you can perform different operations with the same function name by passing different arguments. Like other programming languages, method overloading is not supported in Python. If you try to overload a method in Python, it won't raise any compile time error. Instead, it will consider using the last defined method. If you try to call the overloaded methods with the different arguments, you will get errors at runtime. For example, here we have defined class calculate. Inside class calculate, we have defined two methods with name add but with parameters a,b and abc. And when we create object of class calculate and we call the method add with 3 parameters and add with 2 parameters. For the first method it will give the output 60 and for the second method it will give error since it will consider the last defined method which is with 3 parameters. So this method will be executed and while executing this method it will give error. To implement method overloading there are different ways. First is using default argument. If you create a method with default arguments, you can call that method with different number of arguments to achieve method overloading. For example, here we have defined class calculate and we have defined method add with parameters a, b, c and default value for c is 0. If we check value of c, that is if c greater than 0, we will print a plus b plus c and else we will print a plus b. When we create object of c and when we call method add with 3 parameters or 2 parameters, it will give the output 60 and 30. Next is using variable length argument. We can use variable length arguments in the method to achieve method overloading in Python. If you create a method with variable length argument, you can call that method with different number of arguments. For example, here we have defined class calculate with method add and with variable length arguments. Here we have defined result as 0 and if we use for loop for addition of these arguments, and when we create object of class calculate and we'll call the method add with 3 parameters and 2 parameters, it will give the output 60 and 30. Next is using none keyword. We can achieve method overloading in Python by user defined function using none keyword as a default parameter. The method checks if all the parameters are available or not. As we have already given default parameter values as none, if any of the value is not passed, it will remain none. Using if-else statement, we can achieve method overloading by checking each parameter as single statement. For example, here we have defined function add with parameters a equal to none and b equal to none. And inside method we will check if a not equal to none and b equal to none, it will print a, else it will print a plus b. And when we call the method add with 2 parameters as 2, 3 and with 1 parameter as 2, it will give the output 5 and 2. With first method we have passed value for both the parameters, it will add the parameters, and in second method we have passed only one parameter, so it will print only a.